Good morning, everyone. Welcome along to Steel Horse Station. Well, hope you're well. Hope everybody has had a good weekend. I have. Apologies to those of you that were hoping for a stream 12 hours ago. I needed to do some real world entertaining, which was good fun and unexpected. G'day, Mark. Welcome. Great to have you in. Yeah, so it was nice to get out for dinner and celebrate a friend's birthday. Even if it did, they came from out of town and it was a bit of short notice, but you got to take these opportunities. So we did. But nonetheless, g'day, Scooter. Let's head across to Newlands. I think I've got everything sorted out here. What was I standing on? Who knows? So, by way of an update, we're at the end of the last day that we were at last week. I have finished planting and rolling, although we'll wait for the crop to come up to put some more fertilizer on the corn. We've got some grass that we can cut in the next game day, and if I'm not mistaken, I was just getting the mowers organized. Might do that first. Timing's good, Scooter, because the other thing we were going to do was sell some pigs. So looking at the pig situation, which I need to take that off, we need to sell some pigs before we roll the day, simply because it's likely we'll run out of a food component or two again, and then they won't be at full health briefly. So that's what we're going to do. So I'll just put these on here, and while I think of it, I can turn the tractor off. Any of you guys been doing anything interesting? Let's scoot around here. I didn't get a chance to build the new meat stall for the market. So here we have a trailer full of pigs. I think we may be in the trigger. Yes, we are. So we're not in the trigger. Yeah, not in the trigger. Let's try and find the trigger. We are still not in the trigger. Yes, we are now. So we want to take 20 of those and unload them. That was interesting. It selects the hold 20 as a set now. This animal type does not support unloading. We are not in the trigger. That's the only thing I can conclude. That's better. Now we're in the trigger. It's just a little closer to the door. Okie dokie. So now we can... These, what's happening here? Right, now we can select them. That's better. Building a greenhouse. That's getting very real world. Haven't you got Omatana helping you, Mark? So we are going to move. We've got 6-month-old pigs that are 100%, and we're going to move them across. So and now we have, so 20 pigs gave us 2,500 litres by the looks. So now if we have a look at our production, let's have a look here. Let's try looking at productions, that will work better. Somewhere down here, which processing plants for pork. Is the, yes, the third pork. No. This is where it gets just a tiny bit confusing. It's black pied we put in, wasn't it? So we got 2,500 litres, but they get converted. So we'll end up with about a, how can that work? So we put in 20 pigs. Ah, good to know, Mark. Thank you. I'm just trying to do the math here. So 20 pigs gave me 2,500 litres. 2,500 litres of pig is going to give me 1,200 litres of pork. $1,200 litres of pork. I've got pork in the list. 1,200 litres of pork is going to give us near enough to 8,500. But 20 pigs at 6 months old. Where are they? 20 pigs at 6 months old would have given us 6,000. So we're making about 20% premium on selling them that way. Yes, if you drive them to the sell point yourself, correct. That's interesting you say that, Mark, about the auto drive settings, because at the point that I was driving it, or I was asking it to drive to the bunker, follow me wasn't set. Can't have been, because I wouldn't have been able to interact with the vehicle at all. Interesting. Clearly I was doing it wrong, so doesn't really matter. So you can see here we've reduced the volume. We need to do at least another load. So we'll send the tractor back, which should be possible, to the sty. What I was thinking, just to switch across for a second, about our pig population. So this lot here in the extension, our overflow, I'm thinking we'll just hang on to the 67 until they're 6 months old, and then flog them to the meatworks. I probably did not activate the production because it's expensive. Oh, no, I've just got to keep. There won't be enough for it to run overnight. What have we got here? 4,000. We might be on here long enough for it to process. Let's have a look. Black pied. Which one do I want? Yeah, I want that one. Activate you. But thank you for picking that up. So what I was going to say is we'll put these ones in, we'll take these to the meatworks because they're our overflow community, if you like, as soon as they're 6 months old. And then this lot, I'm thinking we've got a few at 11 months to... So I'm thinking we'll sell down half of the 11-month-olds because in a couple of months' time, we're going to have some reproduction and we'll be back in coming out of our years with pigs. So we'll do another trip now to sell down some of the 11-month-olds, and that'll show us whether we get more meat from, more meat from slightly older pigs. We'll get a sense of that. It'll be another full trailer, and it'll reduce our food consumption overnight, which is what we're looking for. Now, one thing we can do to help our overnight situation is grab a little bit of feed while the animal wagon is coming back. We'll get some brewer's grain because we're really low on feed elements. We're really waiting for harvest time for our canola and our corn maize, or corn grist. So we want this guy. Now, while I think of it, even though I missed the oaks last night, my time, I'm planning to stream that tonight. So in about, what will it be? 10 hours time, 12 hours time. So, oops, I missed the turn. Never mind. So we'll be back on the oaks at that point. Looks like our animal trailer is coming, so that timing will be good. The other thing you'll notice here, I've upgraded our manure storage and just done a little bit of landscaping to get it out of the way. Let's put you in there. Working like a well-oiled machine. Didn't even park in front of me. Oh, what a legend. Just duck over and grab a little bit of the beet pulp is the other ingredient I'm pretty sure we need to be putting in there. at it. Busy time feeding the animals. Been messing around with the bale storage or bale and object storage shed. I think one of those will work really nice on the oaks. So I'm just trying to find / make something that fits in our yard there. Not a big fan of the big red crosses. They were pretty easy to turn off. Okay, so we've got enough. What is this giving us in terms of food? So that's, we've got 3 food groups, and if we take out half the eldest pigs, they should be in a better position, and then we can roll over the day. So let's just drop you up here. As you can see, we've got manure turning into fertilizer. I don't know if I've turned that on, but we put some manure in. And actually it's interesting with this position here, it's now close enough that it's joined to the capacity of the silo, so, or the production, the manure production, so that just reduces the amount we have to move stuff around, which on a map like this is always handy. How many of you have grabbed the seasons pass and or are gonna get the Gavile pack when it comes out? I assume it's later today, is it? Later today, my time. Is it Tuesday the 21st? Get out of there, I'm stuck on the edge of the silo. Not in the trigger. Come on, straighten up. That's it. Want the back corner of the door. That's better. Right. So we wanted the 604 value ones. We'll take all of those. These ones, we'll take 4 of those. Why did that? Because I'm... Right. That's better. So if we have a look, we now have 150 animals in there. Can send you... I'm pretty sure I've got a route that'll... Whoa! That wasn't good. Watch out for the train. Now we're going to get a major crash counter. That was always going to happen at some point. Lucky they build this John Deere equipment pretty durable. That's all I can say. Might have to go and find that collision. How are the pigs? Oh, they don't seem too phased by their excursion. Love a drink. It was a bit more excitement than I intended. Thought we were going to get stuck on the flat car there for a minute. And we want to go to Meatworks Animal Drop. So you can tootle off there. There's that. Yep, you're loading. We'll do those in the morning. They're good, they're good. Everything's green and growing. Lovely. I sold some honey. That's the other thing we'll probably have the ability to do, is we've got some fabric to sell for the first time, so that's likely to be next month. Are we? Pretty sure there's only one place. Yep. Very close to the top of the market, so good. Oh. Miss Wildstyle, welcome along. John Senior, welcome in. Thank you for popping by. It's great to see you. So we're just about to finish this day. We're sort of finishing off where we were in the last episode. Whoops. Let's try pressing the right buttons. And we are on our way to sell a load of pigs, which would be good. You arrived just in time for the train crash. Very good. Yeah, I've had a go at slowing the train down, but I'm messed it up. It's a little bit convoluted because the train is not actually part of the map, and it's not put into the map quite the same way as I understand. So when I tried to copy it out of the Giants directories and in effect set the map up with its own train, I obviously missed a link or a connection. All I was trying to do was slow it down, and I don't want to change the config of the train in the base game. No pigs were harmed in the making of the stream. They might be shortly. We have dropped one load off to the abattoir already, and this lot is about to join them. But as I say, then we'll roll over and see what field work we've got to do. I think actually we're in pretty reasonable shape from a fieldwork standpoint. So May might be a bit of a short month. Just make sure everything's sort of topped up, and we'll jump into June, because that's when our barley will be ready to pull off. And then we can, then the harvesting season will get going in full swing. Yep, train's still going. I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but Scooter's fixed the sell point for our meat so that it takes gelatin, which is a byproduct of producing the meat. It's bumpy crossing we've got there. So Mr. Haythornwaite, how big is the real world greenhouse that you are creating? Let's see how good it goes in backing up to the door. I think I set the course up for it. We'll get these sold just as the light fades by the looks. No, I just set it there. Okay. So if we just pull you forward a whisker, right hand down, we should be able to get the back of the trailer right on that trigger. Which we did. How about that? And you put it, whoops. We'll do a save now. 8 by 6. Oh, that'll be enough, enough work. All windows, or is it a prefab, or is it a freeform design? Why is this save taking so long? What is happening? That is very bizarre. That is not a good sign, folks. Let's see if we can wake it up. Yep, we came back. It just died somewhere in the process. Let's try that again. It's a symptom I have not seen before. So let's take... We're not in the trigger again. That's better. Why can't I? What's happening here? No errors. That was a bit strange. I'm getting some, we might stop and restart in a second. We're getting some little interface, funny little interface errors. Right. So those 20 animals gave us how much? How much? How much? How much? Quite a bit more. So we got 2,500 from the first 20, and we got over 4,500 from those, given that we've processed a little. So right, so we could, do I want to run it overnight is the $64 question. Yeah, look, let's just live dangerously. It's the first one, right. So when we come back next game day, we should have a bunch of meat. So a question about real world gardening. Just curious, is there an easy way to test the pH of your garden bed? Is there I suspect I am very low on lime. And I haven't really investigated, but I was just curious if anyone in the chat actually knew how to go about that. We can send you back on your own, can't we? You can go back to main pigsty. There we go. Meanwhile, we can jump home. Right, okay, so it's a kit thing. But is it just like as simple as sticking an indicator probe into the soil, or do you have to make a solution up, or what's kind of the process? We want to visit our house. I reckon that's all we want to do for the folks. We're going to run out of money, but these things happen. 8 o'clock will do us fine. But we can roll forward. Almost out of coffee. It's 8 o'clock. We can put the time up to 2 times. We can go across to here and send you to sell some trees. Where are we? Garden setter, potted tree load. We want to go to the farmer's market, tree sell. Sounds fancy, Mark. I'll send you off. Cool. Okay, John. I might have to give that a go. We just had a friend of my wife's has a horse. So we just acquired 4 bags of horse manure to try and beef up our garden beds. And so I thought, while we're there, while it's breaking down, we might as well whack some lime in. If we've got we've got a balance problem, we just want to test it. What am I thinking about? I'm coming down here to grab the mowers. That is the next job. So let's just set these up. So we want conditioned grass, don't we? With the conditioner. Oh, hang on. These are the opposite. We had this problem last time, didn't we? I think these are the opposite to what they say. Right. Let's what are you doing? Let's get the correct mower. Let's unfold you. Let's just do a little test. That's wet grass, isn't it? Oh no. Yeah, we used it last year. Now let me just see, because I've forgotten it's a while since we cut this grass. And if I go B and Z, no, that's the cut we want. That's the cut we want. So X. The first one was wet grass, yes, correct. Now we're cooking. Oops, let's try. Why am I not? That's better. That was exactly my thinking, John. So the horse manure worked really well, or it appeared to have good value. The soil that we had in the garden bed that we created has come out of a variety of different crappy sources. So, you know, a little bit excavated under the house, and you know, separated from building materials and all sorts of bits and pieces. There's a little bit of cash in the door, which is nice. And so I knew it was pretty low quality, so we added the horse manure to it and piled it up a little bit, covered it, and let that break down before we then kind of spread it and mixed it, and we got a reasonable crop. We were just experimenting with things that we planted. So we had some tomatoes and raspberries. The snow peas did really well. Some lettuce. So a whole bunch of different things. But it does strike me that it probably is a bit out of whack on the pH front. So that's actually a really interesting point, John. So the other question I've got is the hydraulic lime that I use when I mix mortar. Is that, can I use that straight in the garden? Is like lime, or is it or is there a special? I mean, I know if I go to the garden centre, they'll have some sort of premium specialty product. I was trying to avoid extra expense, given that I got a 20 kilo bag of lime, and for the odd jobs I do with mortar, I don't use it that fast. bonsai, a patient man. Garden lime is not as strong. Okay. So does that mean my garden centre dealer cuts it with something? The way they try to baffle us with the chemistry of some of these products never ceases to amaze me. It's a bit like the pool. So you go to the pool shop and they charge you $1 squillion for these apparently fancy products that you've got to put in your pool. And if you read the label and do a little bit of research, you find out that, you know, buffer is actually bicarb soda. And it's just that the pool shop sells it in a large container at 10 times the price of the supermarket. That's cool. We can do that. I made the mistake of watching a a YouTube clip on growing tomatoes or something, and now I'm getting flooded with garden YouTube. Let's turn you off. That was a quick and easy. So in my experience, pools are an expensive garden ornament. They're very nice to look at. What is going on here? I keep hitting the wrong buttons. That's what's going on. And Control V should do that. No. Pod 1, welcome along. We are enjoying autumn. So we've had a couple of warm days. We had a 37 over the weekend. You can pretty much guarantee that, given it's, oh my God's sake, did I do it again? There's a lag here between these things folding up and the buttons I'm hitting. Right. Okay, get rid of you. I'll pop you in the... Oh, I popped him right in front of the next device that we want, haven't I? That wasn't good thinking. Basically, it's just been really pleasant here in Melbourne, I have to say. Mid-20s, sunny, and it's getting a little bit cooler at night, so you're not having to deal with any hangover heat if it was hot during the day. It's a lovely time of year, and you can pretty much bet your bottom dollar that when the F1 Formula circus gets here in a couple of weeks' time, we'll have a wet weekend, so hopefully we'll have at least one really nice day to show everything off to everybody. We have visitors from the States coming to stay for that weekend, so that'll be fun. Haven't seen them since pre-COVID. Missed their wedding because we weren't able to leave the country. Okie dokie, let's... I'm quite impressed at, relatively speaking, how few on-track incidents there have been. Particularly like collisions between the drivers. So let's have a look here. We want you right. And I am just enjoying seeing Alonso get so much joy from his exercises at the front. I think that's good for the spectacle to have another car up there. Even if that is probably doing Mercedes head in, seeing their engine doing better than they can make it do. Let's grab that bit. Let's just back you up a little. I might as well run back up the side here, seeing we're turned around and facing in this direction. Not the most organised field. He is indeed. And I did enjoy seeing Perez win. Just gonna miss that. Zoom down here. Yeah, I have to say, for all his talent, I actually feel the same way. I cannot warm to the guy at all. Oops, it's a little bit. You'll get any horsepower back if I lift you up. Turn you off for a second. Just get up the hill. My recollection of Alonso. He's definitely softened. I completely agree with you there. I don't remember him being as far out on the extreme edge as we see Max, to the point of being unpleasant. He was always quick-tongued and critical of others, and you know, clearly fiery. Anyway, we'll see how the season unfolds. Let's just back you up a little bit. Only takes a minute. Yeah, I guess. I don't have strong memories of those. So that period, I was dealing with the challenges of my own career and just wasn't following it as much. Just didn't have the time. My own career and young family at that stage, so I'm not being terribly organized with how I do this. I'm just kind of driving around and coloring in. Yeah, I think the season could get really interesting if, you know, over the next, I'm not hoping for it, you know, in successive races, but I think over the next few, if Perez is really consistent and Max has some reliability issues, the potential for Max to blow up his own team, I think, is quite high. And there'll come a point where some of the brilliant engineers and mechanics he has just don't want to work for someone that's unpleasant. Now, I think we're a fair way from that point, but you can see it happening. But the most important part of the equation is for Perez to keep his cool and just do what he does best, which is just drive. because if he does that, he'll soak up so much positive public opinion. Rightio, 75,000 litres, that'll do that. Let's turn you off, hold you up, turn you off. Well, that's why I say if there's if he's consistent and there or thereabouts, and reliability comes in, at the end of it's kind of like you saw just an inkling of it yesterday, because Christian Horner's as competitive as they come, right? So he doesn't really care who's driving the car. He just wants to win with Red Bull, and so I don't think if there are reliability issues that are at play that knock Max out of the equation, I don't think Christian will stand for Max torpedoing Perez, because that will get in the way of Red Bull's objectives. While Max is at the top of his game and he's winning races and he's furthering that I think there's a strong leadership group at Red Bull. I think Jos Verstappen would like to think he's pulling the strings, but I'm not so sure. I think the team is bigger than the driver, is I guess what I'm saying. Let's drop that in. I don't know how much of it we'll take in here. Right, so let's have a look at our sheeping situation. So the sheepies are down the bottom. Sheeps now have plenty of food, nicely laid out, about half full on water. We're going to get to a point where they fill up in a little while. Yeah, and I think that's where it's a bit about temperament. I don't think Perez wants to be number 2 to Max. I reckon Perez actually believes that he can be number 1. Oh, crap. Saw it coming. Nothing I could do about it. There we go. I'm going to have to modify the train. So that's 2 in one episode. Got us back to where we needed to go. We can put the rest of the grass in there. No, all the grass. I must admit, the first few times I had accidents, usually driving accidents where I managed to roll vehicles, I was expecting the contents of my trailer to be strewn across the road and to spend numerous amounts of time cleaning up, but was pleasantly surprised to find that that wasn't a thing. Let's take you off there. Now, we can park you up over here. So let's have a look. We were looking at these. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of sheep now. The oldest of which are at a point where we can think about, I was going to let them breed once more and then pop the oldest ones off to the meatworks. I think 3-year-old lamb makes for a tasty roast. And we've got our first objective, which with the I'm sure I stopped that. Which was to fill up the pasture is just about in sight. So it's quite it'll be 150. So basically the next breeding cycle will take it pretty close to full. So that'll be good. Now, where did we get to here? We didn't get any more pigs, but I suspect we ran out of food. Yep. So their health will be suffering at the present because we ran out. So we'll sort out pig food a bit later on. We'll have money to solve for that. They're okay. They're just about out over here, so their health will start to fall there. But the cows are in good shape. And over at the meatworks, we are working our way through. So we've got product coming out and it's processing. So that's all we want to know. Good. Good. So now we need, what have I done with the John Deere? Oh, it's on the animal trailer, isn't it? There it is. Let's park you. Let's try not to have another accident with the train. That little cut in there, I intended to create a little spot to be able to leave the trailer. Something like so. Mint jelly is popular in our house. We only need one of those, but it will do. So yes, on the lamb roast. Mint jelly is the preferred condiment. Now I'm guessing. What is that out the side there? Well, that's what we want to see. What is that hanging off the side of the trailer that I've managed to get caught on there? Huh. That's a really weird distortion of the tension strap. Let's see, can I get you around there? I've done something. I would imagine if I, yeah, turn it off and reset it. I get that last one there. Kind of like to get these loaded before the train comes back. Let's just have a look where we need to go to sell these. That's probably at the market. Farmer's market is the best price. We've just missed the top by the looks. Oh no, we're over the top. So cool. Farmer's market it is. Come and pick up that last one. While we're here. I wanted to, there's a mod came out for a pallet truck, which I thought would be ideal for just there. What are you doing? Let's have a look. We are at, not at the sugar mill. We're out of seeds by the looks. We've finished processing all of the sugar beet. Out of manure. I did put some more things in the... Oh, we've got to move slurry today too. Spinnery fabric wool is processing. It'll be a little while before we get another one, so we can take this lot across to the market. If we're going to do that, we might as well. What we got up here? A little bit of cabbage. Correct. We'll put a seed in a minute, Mark. They've only just run out relatively recently. Just want to get this trailer sent to the across to the market. That looks like all we're going to get out of there. So you can go to FM weight. Now we'll solve that other little problem. Have we got seed? Yeah. Yes, we've got plenty of seed. So this will solve the greenhouse cache problem. I'll quickly top that up. That was already good, okay. There we go, there's 3 of the 5 running again. We'll do another load of seed. That's a full load in there. So how does that look? Garden centers. Full of seed. Almost full of seed. Which one is it? Tomatoes is not full. Full of seed. Full of seed. And flowers. Tomatoes and flowers. Okay. I don't think I need a full load here. Yep, pretty much that's my standard approach. Work our way through. And we're in a pretty good position now. How are you enjoying Edgewater, Hodge One? It's better, and tomatoes weren't full. That was at the back there, wasn't it? Yeah, that one's done. And this guy needed a couple more litres. There we go. Right, so everything's seeded. So in cold, snowy climates like that, is the basic idea just to get the crop in the ground before the ground freezes, and then or the seed in the ground before the ground freezes, and then when it thaws in the spring is when it germinates? Is that how it works? Oops, wrong button. Why haven't I got a tip trigger there? There it is. Oh, that's really good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay, let's head across to the market and unload some of our produce. So, yeah. Now, we've never sold fabric here, so I do not know where the fabric sale point is. What? Oh, that would do it. What have you done? That's a glitch I haven't encountered before. I cannot release transport pallet because the pallet is somehow spawned around the trailer. That's just annoying. Right. Wonder where we take the fabric. Pick a sell point. One of these has shoes on it. Which one is it? Maybe it's this one in front of me. No, it wasn't strapped. It's actually through the... I'm gonna have to turn... Oh, there is the cloth over there, is it? No, that's toys. I'm gonna have to turn on... triggers. Okay, that's honey over there. That's fruit and veg. Cheese. It's one of those ones, I'd reckon. Let's just come back around the other way. Now we found it. There we go. Nice little payday. Beautiful. Yeah, so you can see that one's actually got the trailer through the pallet somehow. Try lowering that trailer. It doesn't make any difference, but it looks. I can't get him off there. So the collision for the base of the pallet is somehow under the trailer. It's not worth it worrying about it for the minute. I'll solve it after the stream. Let's pop you in there. You've got to come out this way because the... Oops. The bollards are up. I'll leave the tractor there for now. You can go back to potted tree load. So let's... What are you stuck on? Let's go to the store. Because we can get a new vehicle to take back. We require a forage harvester of this variety. We already have the header for it. We're not going to put config on it. We don't want brown or, oh dear, yuck. Standard will fit our color scheme nicely. So we want to buy one of those. So the only bit of portrait kit we don't have at the minute is the mower setup. We may ultimately get another header for it, but because we've got, where are we? Headers. Am I going blind here? Why can I not see? There we go. Forage harvester headers. We've got this guy. But there is a... That's not the one we want. Maybe it's in... Come at it from the other way. Let's do it this way. Forage harvesters. Oops. Combinations. This one is wider header. But we'll see how we go. We've got this smaller one for the minute. So that'll do. Funky little machine. Now we're all set when our corn comes up in a couple of months. We don't have to worry about managing cash flow to do that. Let's change out of my forestry gear on this map. Excuse me. So our corn's come up, looking lovely over there, resplendent in its straight rows, even they're at a completely different angle. I'll have a look at fertilizing situation, I think. There. Could do too. The sort of thing a cartoonist had come up with as a design. Jason McKinley, welcome along. Great to have you in. As it is great to have everybody in today. So we'll just pop this in the shed. We've just bought a forage harvested, Jason, so we're all set for when comes time. And that one's a new one, so that's nice. So let us whack. Which way is the front? I'm jumping around here. Move forward. Thank you. Zoom in. Pop you on there. I've got a smidge of lime in. Right. That's all right. Take the bag that's further away. How about that? Why can I not pick up the bag that's right behind me here? That is very odd. It's a phantom bag. There we go. Got it, by George. Right, we have some. Now let's have a look at the state of our fields. So we're now looking a bit more like a growing production. So we want this picture. pH is pretty good. So the big cornfield is pretty crappy, which is not great, all that surprising. So we've got 3 fields that look like they need some work. Let's... I don't know if I need care tires for the sugar beet. Let's go and find out. Should not do. So a little bit of fertilizing to do now. Looks fine. Top this up. Not a lot because we did spread slurry on here. As we did on the cornfield. Get up to the end. So we'll have enough money in the bank to be able to go and buy a bunch of pig food, which is good. Which means we can stock them up nicely. Oh, I can turn the triggers off again. Where are the triggers? Zone markers. Okay, that's the sugar beet field sorted. No, Jason, I have not seen. I actually haven't seen any mods that, with the exception of equipment mods, that seek to add or modify anything for precision farming, which I guess is interesting and curious. I just thought I'll do the grass while I'm here. There'll be a little bit back there that we'll get on the way back. Go around this field anti-clockwise. Quite a nice idea. I do like it. Because that way you'd just be colouring out what's needed, just going to the parts of the map that need work. Adding the slurry first certainly made a difference. We're not spreading solid fertilizer at anything like slurry or digestate. I think it was digestate we put on the sugar beet, but we're not using fertilizer or anything like the usual rate. Colouring at a nice That was a quick and easy job. I'm tipping that 1,000 won't be enough for the other field. So what we'll do is run up and fill it up. So. And that'll be the fertilizing done for the season. And we can set to thinking about, it's why I've got a bit of a feeling that we're kind of on top of our finances for the first time. We can set to thinking about our field expansion a bit more regularly. Refill. Plonk. We need to pick up, now that we're feeling a bit better about our, we need to pick up these fields here. I want to expand the canola fields pretty much up to the tree line, and the sugar beet field the same. So that's 195 and 196. Oops. All right, there we go. Let me collect. So 60,000 and 83. So we need 140,000 to finish buying there. Thinking about these fields over here. These fields in here. They've got lots of trees on them, so we'll wait and see how that goes. The field directly to the left of the new cornfield is probably not too bad to grow into. A bit bumpy down there. And if we pick somewhere for a new grass field, we can then continue to develop our yard here in the middle of proceedings, put some sheds on. Fair amount of clay up there. I didn't notice that. That's a good pickup. Let's have a look. Up here. Let's have a look here. Yeah, we've got a lot of clay up here. It looks like there's a loam patch in the center. Let's have a look at that again. Yeah, I don't get any additional detail until I sample it. We'll see. The quick indicator in the bite. Why am I not observing that? I usually do. Pleasant View. Oh, there it is. Why didn't I get that for this field? That's really odd. But because part of my field extends in there, I wonder if that's the case. It must be. Huh. So I learnt something. So I have to define my fields to extend into it. Will it let me draw? Let's do that experiment because now I'm curious. Maybe I'm curious. So if we go... So I can draw a custom field on land I don't own. That's not surprising. And so now, if I come back to farmland, no. So I must have to have ploughed some of it. I was just wondering if I'd defined a field in there, that was all that it took. But because I've somehow managed to plough just over the edge, I suspect that's enough to, because it's only showing 1/100th of an acre. Interesting. Okay. Little experiment. Great to have along, PVF. Good to see you. So I knew it was there for contracts, but it actually changes. So it doesn't give you ownership of the field. It changes something because you're allowed to cut trees on fields that you're doing contracts for as well. I don't know if you knew that. So I quite often have stood on the roof of my harvester and pruned some pesky trees that have branches out into a field I'm trying to harvest. It's got to be the ploughed area because all I've done is accidentally run over the boundary of the field when I was creating the sugar beet fields, and for it to be such a small area. You missed us, PVF. We took 2 trailer loads of pigs to the slaughterhouse, so we have pork in production. Don't know if we've got any pallets out. We'll go and have a look shortly. I just topping up our cornfield here. It needed a little bit of love now that we've got the crop out of the ground. Is that the lumberjack mod? I am using lumberjack, but I'm not sure what respect you're asking about. In terms of being able to cut trees, don't know. I use lumberjack pretty much everywhere, so it's possible. But I don't usually, I certainly don't have easy dev set to allowing me to cut trees everywhere as a general rule. But it's quite possible lumberjack does that. Right. I hadn't thought about that. That's the only circumstance I use it. And of course, my new best friend is Mod Object Hider, so I haven't met a tree I can't hide. It's just like, no, that tree doesn't need to be there, get rid of it. It's fabulous. Especially with oak trees and American elm and just annoying shapes. Yes, that too. Well, that can be a little bit tricky. But the opposite is true. So if you've landscaped the ground and got them out of the ground and you can't reach them to deal with them, you can still, if you're lucky, select them with map object hider and delete them that way. But when they're in the ground, sometimes you can't get the select point. Not often. But that's the only vagary. Well, that was quick and easy. And now we have a beautifully green field for our corn. A few trees there to parcel up and sell at some point. Oh, those of you that there's a few modders in fiddle around in GE, so with the so if I open the new object storage facility in Giants editor, it all works fine, and it's just a shed with some areas defined. If I want to remove the shed, which is what I'm trying to do, and just leave it, I can't seem to select the shed. The shed's defined in GE as looks like a single object, and even if I change even at the highest level of the parent in the scene graph to change the visibility setting, it doesn't actually affect whether it displays it. Is there something else or another way I can break down or open that image up? Because what I'm trying to do is change out the shed or change some of the shed characteristics so that I can use it in oaks. And it was just a situation I haven't encountered before. Usually when I go into I usually use GE in a map and I go in and edit it and I can turn stuff on and off and use it the way I want. So I was just curious as whether there's something different I've got to do because I'm using an object rather than a map. Now the others. Yeah, that's really interesting. So that's where I went. And I thought, oh well, okay. What's the difference between, well, what's usually the difference between the LOD nodes? I came to the conclusion I didn't understand. Object will be linked as a placeable. I'm not understanding something. There's something. Yeah, so that bit I sort of figured out. But the interesting part is I can't select any parts of the shed. So if I click on the shed itself, even though I'm in the object, it's all one shape. And so that's where I thought there's something I'm not doing correctly. Let's put you down. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just thought I would ask in case it was a simple question. Ah. Now that's not the result I expected. Oh, but it should have been because I've got the wrong piece of equipment. I thought I'd picked up the roller. That's so funny, Scooter. So that was the point that I arrived at yesterday. Was, you know what? I'll just export out the object storage parts. What I actually wanted, and so just it's no secret because you'll see how I'm trying to do it on Oak. So if I have a shed like this that's already in place on my map, I just wanted to be able to place the object storage functionality without any picture, so that I have a spot where I can put things and it'll stack them in the back of the shed. It's pure and simple. So I just wanted a clean image, and I thought the easiest way to do that is I'll just go in and edit the mod and make the shed they supply invisible. That's cool. It's just another thing to fiddle with and figure out. And I have to go back over there and plant some seed in a minute. What I'm curious about. Oops. What have I done here? I want... Alright, I want to go there, and I want to go there. Why are you not? Yeah, Mark Thor's already done a couple of variants of the Giants one. You know, Mark's interpretation of how they should have done it the first time. Now, what I'm curious about is this having any effect? That's all. So I'm just doing an experiment with rolling a grass field here, folks. Just to see. Got to turn grass on, and so it hasn't given me a growth state. It says it needs ploughing. It's not, and it's not. So these rollers aren't working as a grass roller, would be my conclusion. That's okay. Oh, exciting. Prezzies from Europe. You get to get your stuff back. Oh, your place will be in chaos for the rest of the day then, Mark. There'll be stuff everywhere. Well, I hope it's had a good voyage and that they packed it well at the other end. Now, let's see here. I am on the correct device to drop you off. But where am I up to here? So all our fields are now in good shape, yeah? So what we can do... Now the other thing we have to do for this particular game day is get some feed into the pigs, which requires us to take a trailer across to the store and buy some pig food. We'll send you on your way. Oh, we can move some. That's the other thing we can do. I want to go to vehicle buy sell. Where have we got? Yeah. Because... How does it come out? Oh, they come out of the... Can I get sugar beet cut out of here? Let's see. We're going to move some slurry too because the cows are full. Sugar beet cut I can unload out of there into a trailer. That's good to know. What we'll do... Did you see how to store that corn grain supplement tank on the right hand? Is that on the trailer that I've just put on the tractor? Is that what you... I'll go back and check and just... okay. Let's, we'll go and have a look at that in just a second. Right hand side of that trailer. I'm not sure I'm following you as to where on the map you're talking about, Jason. But we'll come back to it in just a sec. You'll notice I managed to hide the boom gate that was down here and causing me trouble. We're just taking this across to the sugar mill. Hopefully we'll go. No worries, John. We're just about to finish up for today and we'll be back for you when you wake up. So we'll be back on in about 10 hours time near enough. On the half hour I'll be 7:30 tonight Aussie time. Where am I dropping this off? Somewhere around here. That's probably as good a place as any to leave it. I'm just going to tidy a few more deliveries off for anything, but we have just gone the hour and I am streaming again at the end of the day, so we'll be back on the Oaks. Plenty happening there. And thanks everyone for popping in. Great to have you along, and I'll see you well later on in my day, but in your next day potentially. So catch you next time. See ya.